Hey Narwhals, and welcome back to some more weight loss stories. Only a small percentage of our viewers actually subscribe. It's free and you can always change your mind later, so please tap subscribe to join the original 200k Narwhals. Your habits is the key to sustainable weight loss. If you are trying to lose weight and keep it off, you should not focus on the weight you're trying to lose, but on the habits you need to change in order to lose the weight. Remember, weight gain is not the real problem. Weight gain is only the symptom. The real problem is your daily habitual behaviors, and that is what you should be focusing on. What are some habits that you recommend? Get out of the kitchen as soon as you can after you eat, especially at night. I've found myself brushing my teeth and going to bed super early just so I'm not in that tempting environment. For me, I try to make healthy food more convenient and accessible. After dinner, I'll pack leftovers in small servings for lunch the next day. I make my salads ahead of time, so when it's lunch, I can just reach into the fridge before anything else crosses my mind. I also keep a fully stocked fruit bowl and buy lemons by the bag, good for squeezing into water and tea, over salads, and flavoring fish or chicken. I get a variety of herbal teas and give myself a daily tea time, which I find myself looking forward to. I changed my idea of dessert. Instead of buying ice cream and candy bars, I buy fruit and whipped cream, protein bars with chocolate flavors. I freeze bananas and mash them with chocolate chips to make ice cream. I gave up alcohol almost entirely. I will only drink one glass to celebrate at weddings, birthdays, or anniversary dinners, etc. I work out every other day, no exceptions. If I can't get out of the house for whatever reason, then I work out in my living room, follow along to a yoga video, etc. I make it a point to spend 20 minutes in the evening on my wind-down routine by myself, washing face, brushing hair, using lotion, sitting quietly, and reflecting on my day. I substituted high-calorie desserts and chocolate bars for sweet and salty popcorn in moderation, and the occasional few grams of chocolate if I feel like it, but never the full bar like I used to. Drinking at least 2 liters of water, but often more, and intermittent fasting. And no longer binging because I'm mindful about what I eat and stop once I'm full. Looking at my caloric intake really helps me with portion control. Doing everything in moderation. It's not about depriving myself. It's about relearning how to have a positive relationship with food and an exercise routine. Learn a selection of healthy, filling meals that are low calorie. For me, that means under 400 calories that you love eating and keep eating them over and over. Pre-planning or pre-logging your calories until you get the hang of making your allotment last the day. I've lost 30 pounds in 30 months. This is a big post for comparatively unimpressive numbers, but I wanted to share my experience so far because I weighed myself this morning and I am the least I've weighed since really ever as an adult. I think I've cracked the code of what works for me, and I've been so inspired by similar posts. It has taken me over 2 years, but I'm getting close to 30 pounds down. I continue to lose weight incredibly slowly. Occasionally, I lose a few pounds a month. Occasionally, I don't lose any weight for a few months at a time. And sometimes I'll gain a little bit, but never more than a few pounds at a time, which has always come off. I wish I could get myself to 145 in 3 months, but it won't work for me. I am confident that this is the only way that works for me, and I'm feeling so proud of my ability to live a balanced life. I'm not dieting or in a fad diet. This is just who I am now. I come from a family whose love language is food, and meals have been and continue to be the highlight of the day and any festivity. I strongly believe that Americans have such a broken relationship with food in general. I had to rethink a lot of what I consume, and a crash diet or steep deficit wasn't the way for me to do that. I will always be very delighted by food, and I can love food in a way where food loves me back. I am 26, 5'4", and 166 pounds. I was over 195-ish when I went to Hawaii in September 2018. I hated how I felt. I was incredibly tired the entire trip and unhappy with how I looked in photos. I made a decision that trip that I needed to lose weight, and I started calories in, calories out after. I also started following the subreddit and other fitness and weight loss subs. Here's what's changed for me. Food. I occasionally make a few extra efforts with exercise or cut out booze for a bit, but the singular thing that keeps me most on track is just keeping an eye on my calories. I have limited my calories before, but I now only track to check in with them, and I'm more successful at losing weight this way. If I try too hard to keep it under a certain number, I set myself up for failure. I feel defeated easily and end up not tracking a few weeks at a time. Some days, I really need 2,000 calories to feel okay. Some days, 1,300 comes easy. I use a food scale, and I am as accurate as possible. I try to stay in deficit most days, and it's pretty achievable. I just keep track without judgment, and that sets me up for better choices. Fitness. I become quite consistent with exercise, but I'm not overzealous or as committed as many online seem. I find having an Apple Watch to track my fitness to be incredibly motivating. I walk at least 1 mile a day and alternate weightlifting and cardio 6 days a week. All my workouts are short, under 30 minutes, and I usually do them during lunch, working from home. They range from super intense to not intense at all, but they always happen. I think the only break I took from exercise in a year and a half was 2 weeks off because I had COVID in December. I was good at going to the gym, but avoiding it now because of COVID. I've been using the Peloton app a lot, and it's wonderful. If you don't exercise at all, I would suggest starting at 2 to 3 workouts a week and slowly adding more. That's what worked for me. A few other things that I had to realize that are probably obvious to most. Vegetables are good for weight loss because they make you feel full. I used to avoid them because they aren't my fave, and why add the few extra calories? But adding some spinach to a sandwich makes me feel full for hours longer, at the cost of like 15 calories. Definitely seems so obvious now, but it took me about 26 years to figure this out. Home cooked is always best. At the beginning of quarantine, I was drinking a lot of wine and cooking comfort foods pretty much every day, but we avoided eating out completely. About a month of doing that, I was expecting a gain from eating pasta 3 to 4 times a week and snacking, but I had actually lost weight. We all feel hungry at different times, and it's good to know what part of the day you are suitable to weakness. I've never struggled with the late night eating, but I am ravenous between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. Not just peckish, but blinded with hunger if I don't handle myself right, even if I had breakfast and lunch. I've learned how to deal with this by timing my meals right. 11 a.m. snack, 1:30 p.m. meal, 4 p.m. snack most days, and eating filling foods. What works for me may not work for you. I've struggled with losing weight off and on again since I was 17, and I feel like I finally cracked the code of how I'm going to live a healthy life for the rest of my life. I don't see myself gaining weight back because I do not feel like I'm dieting or in a new fitness routine at all. I'm just living my life with some restructured boundaries and priorities, moving my body, counting my calories, and being overall aware of how my body works and how certain foods make me feel. I am an absolute heathen when it comes to food and drinks on vacation, and I easily snap back into good habits when I return home. I am hoping that by our wedding in August, I will be another 10 pounds or so down. But even if I am not, I feel really great and energetic. I can remember the heavy cloud of fatigue that comes with being unhealthy and uncomfortable in my body, and I don't remember the last time that I felt like that. I hope someone finds this helpful and encouraging. It is absolutely amazing to see people so dedicated to losing weight quickly on here, but that's never worked for me. Thanks for this post. I'm heavier than I've ever been and I want to start losing weight, but there is so much overwhelming information out there on what you should and should not do. It feels so intimidating and overwhelming that it is almost paralyzing to even start. Research is the first step. One thing that helped me was focusing on the things I did like or that came really easily and doubling down on them, like drinking water, cooking my own meals, and taking walks with a good podcast. There's no new information there, just building habits around what is natural and enjoyable to you. You can add new information in as building blocks as you keep going. Hope that helps. You got this. A great work on such a consistent effort. You look amazing. May I ask, how do you relate to your family now with regards to food? In maintenance, I've been practicing having small portions at social occasions. In the past, I would binge at these times and then restrict during my normal meals I have control over. I definitely indulge a bit with my family. My habits when it comes to this are less than perfect, but we're all trying to be healthier, so that helps. We avoid cooking for an army when there's just a few of us, so no one overeats pretty well. My family is pretty much just me and my brothers and our partners, and my brothers will crash diet successfully and then gain it back. I'm trying to set an example for them too. Outside of my family socially, everyone in my circle is pretty healthy-minded. I live near LA, and a lot of my circles are made of vegans and really health-conscious people. Food isn't really a bonding factor with friends for me like it is with my family. Thanks for posting. This resonates with me. My biggest hesitation in starting to lose weight had been not having the mental energy for a super rigid macro counting calories in, calories out situation, which has been successful for me in the past, pre-baby. But now between work and COVID and kid, I just couldn't. And then I had an injury and my ortho said to try weight loss, so I figured I needed to try. So now I'm taking a more relaxed approach. Weighing in regularly, I do daily, but record it weekly, helps me stop from backtracking too badly, but I allow myself a little room to not be too tracking rigid, and if I'm really hungry, to acknowledge that and eat. I do a lot of meal prep and pre-portioned meals and snacks, which helps keep it easy, and so much yes to proper timing. Down 10-ish pounds in 6 months. And that brings us to the end, Narwhals. Please tap subscribe to join the original 200k Narwhals. And lastly, here's our featured Narwhal of the day. Down 25 pounds and lost 8 inches off my waist. Struggling with self-image issues lately, but better than before.